everyone. So, super good news. We are getting a new event apparently this week, and it's going to be a Dragon's Delight styled event. So, this was posted by the DML Facebook page about an hour to 2 hours ago, and this is really interesting because it looks like it's Halloween themed. I mean, that's like 2 weeks late on the whole Halloween shebang, but you know, at the same time, they are advertising the Scarecrow dragon on here. And I missed out on the Scarecrow dragon by like 0 pieces when he was available, so this is super exciting for me. But it just says the Dragon's Delight returns this week and shows the little, almost like slot machine sort of style of thing with the little items. I love the bat, I love the pumpkin, I think the little doll that they've got in there is super adorable as well. And honestly, I just love the design on the stuff on here if that's how it's going to appear in game. But just in case you're someone that doesn't actually know what a Dragon's Delight event is or have never been around when DML have had an event like this, I do have a video on one of the old events which will basically show us the gist of these events. So you have 2 dragons that are the prize dragons during this event. One of them is a first prize for beating other people, and the second one is a dragon that, if you see the point system in the center here, it shows that at 130 points you unlock all of the pieces for the pipe dragon, who was the old event sort of dragon. But this is how the event runs. You have these 3 columns and items drop down, and your dragon will ask for set items, and then you give him items that have dropped down from the columns, essentially. And so I assume it's going to work more or less the same. I don't know, we might see some changes to the event, or I don't know, a little bit of a makeover, you could say. But he even says you can refill the meter by pressing the fill button, or you can refill the columns by pressing fill, and then you can see that there's a selection of different items. All 4 dragons are going to ask for different stuff, so it's luck, but it's also sort of managing your items that is going to do it for you. And if I skip a little bit more ahead so I can see the leaderboard, you'll see this here where it says rewards. You have to reach a minimum score to qualify for the grand prize, but only the #1 person in that bracket actually earns one of the reward dragons. And then apart from that, if you get between 1 and 50th, which is what it was in this event, you'd get a prize. So I've been one of the people that sort of wanted to expand the bracket a little bit more, because only having 1 or like 5 people that can earn the first prize, in some of the more competitive ones, it doesn't work out very well. And again, the pipe dragon was here, he's the prize for getting the card pieces. So essentially 2 prize dragons, 1 for just getting points in the event, another for competing against other players. And so because of that, a lot of people had issues with the event, because, you know, whenever anything's competitive, people will always say that, you know, high level people have an advantage, this and that. But with this event, being around frequently does really help with your chances. And you do get points in the event just the same as castle events, so for collecting gold, collecting food, breeding dragons, feeding dragons, winning battles, catching creatures. So again, we'll see if anything changes with this new event, because, you know, with any of the issues that people had or complaints or things that they didn't really want to see, we could see any amount of changes happening during the event time. But I'm gonna sell this poor little clay dragon. I'm sorry, you've only just come into the world and I'm already forcing you to fend for yourself. I actually feel horrible, but if that Scarecrow dragon is the main prize for the event, like the first prize dragon, I'll be a little bit annoyed, because I do want to get a hold of him. But if he's the peace dragon, I think I'd actually probably prefer that, to be honest with you. But again, it says this week. I don't believe they've actually given a set date yet. I'm going to assume that it's going to be on like Thursday or something like that, because I think most events end up coming out on like a Thursday, Friday, unless they just decide to change up their normal sort of schedule with things. But either way, I said I was waiting for a new event. My prayers have been answered, so I guess I can't really complain about that for a little while now. They actually have given us an event like straight after the Halloween event, so go thanks for that. Although this is also kind of a Halloween event from the looks of things. Imagine if this was meant to come out before now, like, say, last week or something. That would be quite funny. But, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the event when it comes out. Again, I'm not someone that likes to make judgments about things before we actually see them. Because if you make judgments on things before you even see the thing, I mean, that kind of makes you look like a doofus, you know? There's no point in just being a narcissist about everything in game like a lot of people like to be. So, I'm looking forward to it, even though the last Dragon's Delight event, I got royally screwed over on my Android account because I was about to get the Vulture Dragon, and then the only other person in that bracket that was even getting a decent amount of points, I think they spent like a massive amount or like a decent amount on points, and then they just overtook me. In literally the last 10 seconds, I watched it as I was ahead in the last 20 seconds, and then they overtook me in the last 10. I've never been more disappointed with an event than I was on that day. I think that'll be one of the things that I take to my deathbed, like memories that I never want to look at as I'm alive. I only want to think about it, like, on the day of my death. It was very disappointing, though, especially since it was on my Android account, so I realistically expected us to get, like, nothing, to be completely honest, but it seems like because of player level, it does put you in the same bracket or similar brackets to players at your level. So, if you're a low-level person, or like a lowish level, say like a level 30 to 40, but you know how to do the events, you can easily take top spot in a lot of stuff. Which is why people say it is much easier to compete in weekend events when you're a lower level. Because when you're a higher level, people have been playing this game for years, they want to invest more in special dragons, so people are willing to pay more so at a higher level than when they're a lower level. Again, not everyone pays, not everyone has to put in money to compete in the events, a lot of people don't feel the need, but when you're someone that's invested so many hours into a game, you do feel, or it is more likely that you're going to spend money on things that you want. So the Vulture Dragon will forever haunt me in my death, but you know, we learned a good thing from that event. That's the only amount of money I ever put on that Android account. I think it was like £5 or like the minimum amount or whatever it was. But I'm never doing it again. I am never doing it again. Because there's literally no point. If you're going to be ahead in the event, you have to be way ahead in the event. Because that person was going to spend no matter what. And I just got completely duped out of like however much tiny amount of money it was at the time. So, you know, my advice to you is if your life doesn't allow you to be around the game often, don't worry about being too serious with the event, because there are people that are going to be around and they are going to be willing to, you know, in the last minute of the event, put on money to take you over. It's just how the events function, even if it is to my annoyance. It only annoys me in that one scenario, because again, the last 10 seconds, imagine if their internet had cut out after they put the money on. I would have loved that, but guess luck wasn't on my side that day. I'm sorry, random lady, for wishing that your internet would cut out in the last 10 seconds of the event. If only. If only. We would have had that extra dragon, but if I got the extra dragon, I would have just complained about habitat space or something by now, you know me. But with my old job, it used to be impossible for me to take part in those events on PC, which is why I only got them on my Android account. Now it should be a little bit easier for me to do it on PC, so I shouldn't have to do everything on my Android. We'll see how the events go anyway. Maybe I will just do it on both accounts, just in case. Maybe I'll actually get some Reborn done if I do that as well. But, you know, if you do have any more questions about these events, or you're curious about anything, you know, feel free to ask. Either in the comment section on Discord, on Facebook, on Steam, if you want to be weird about it. Just kidding, but, you know, I am very curious to see how these events go. very curious to see what they've done differently, if anything, or again, it is just a, reskinned version of an old event. I want to see those bats though. Super adorable little items that they had. And I love the fact that the Dragon's Delight event is all based around, like, getting toys for your dragons to play with. I think that's pretty cute. You know, it is strange that you end up giving your dragon, like, hundreds and hundreds of the same toy, because I'd imagine that they'd get pretty bored of it after a while, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the weird one for thinking that. Anyway, let's feed him up another level, or 2 levels in fact. 5 levels away now. You know, every episode that we make progress, that's a good thing. Every episode we get that little bit closer to being able to upgrade our temples is a good thing. So level 45 is our goal for this guy. And then upgrading the Shadow Temple, upgrading the Wind Temple. So I actually need another Wind Dragon as well. God damn it. I gotta be so problematic, game, but you know, make sure you check out the post yourself on Facebook. And someone else did mention that, you know, Halloween themed, we haven't had the Apollo Dragon. Maybe the Apollo Dragon will be the first prize dragon. I don't know how likely that is, and you know, if that's the case, there's going to be a lot of angry people because people will spend a lot of money. But we'll see what happens. We only have confirmation on the Scarecrow being a part of the event. We don't even know if he's technically a reward yet. Looks like he will be, but we'll see what the other dragon will be very soon. But for now, thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you then.